Hello and welcome back. I am Allmrak. This is match 2 from the second live Super Blitz tournament of Through the Ages that we ran back in May. This match is between mlhibou and raist and has special guest Japhet helping with the commentary. It was super fun to have him on with us, and I hope you enjoy it as much as we did. All right, everybody, we're about to get started again. After that first match, I had to calm down a little bit because that was exciting. For this match, we have a special guest. So, in addition to me and DJParson, we have Japhet with us as well. I think we all know Japhet. He's the OG TTA video on YouTube guy that we've all heard and loved for a long time. Want to say hello, Japhet?
Hey guys. Thanks for having me in the stream.
Yeah, thank you so much for being here. So I am going to get the next match set up, and maybe DJParson, can you ask Japhet some questions?
Yeah, I can ask him some questions. So you watched the last game, right? On the stream?
Yeah, I did. I watched some of it. I didn't see the entire thing,
but you saw the ending?
The beginning and the end.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Were you surprised, or did you see that coming?
Yeah, I mean, I'm definitely surprised. I thought that Stulux had a really strong start, and I saw him go, Hammurabi into Saladin, and just seemed like a really rocket start. And then of course Gates comes in and stomps on, just gets all the resources out. I actually didn't see the final victory screen, so tell me again how that went, because I missed that last part. But I saw the lead up, the proposed possible hybrid war against Gandhi contemplated. What happened after that?
Yeah, that was really interesting. That Kian couldn't go for that war, so he had to find some other ways. But he was still at 0 culture reduction, basically till the end. So I was really surprised where he got all of his culture from. But most of that came from the impacts, I believe. He had impact of science. There he won 10. Impact of colonies. I think he won about 4 colonies against one from the other guy from the Lux. And yeah, then the impact of technology, that was 20 to 8, I believe. So
someone's saying Manhattan Project as well.
Yeah, Manhattan Project, that was like 13, something like that. So yeah.
It's incredible. I've definitely seen games like that where people come back from looks like a just hopelessly lost position and just makes all that up in age 3.
Yeah, there can be some really, really strong comebacks. And also, I mean, he doesn't have the best position, but I think we can see a big difference between 3 iron and 3 bronze. In the end, that really outproduced him quite a lot. And yeah, that Transcontinental Railroad as well. So he had a lot of resources to play around with. So, yeah.
Yeah, and I was surprised to see him lose that last iron at the end there too. I thought that was, it seemed like a mistake. He could have lost Bread and Circus instead, but yeah, I mean, at least he was playing with that. I don't know if he actually submitted that turn where he.
Yeah, he deleted his iron. That we definitely said that was a big mistake. Should have deleted maybe the team spots or something, or the Bread and Circus. But yeah, he surprised us with that decision, and that really wasn't the first decision where we weren't really sure why he did that. In the end, it did work out. So well played by him, I guess. And I think
we're about ready. This match coming up.
Yeah, I mean, we have raist. I think you guys, we had an introduction from in the beginning. Raist level 53, so definitely one of the big boys. And second,
a few times.
Pardon me?
I've played against him a few times.
Yeah, and what do you think about his strength? Is he good?
I mean, he has. He definitely knows the game. He's played the second most out of anybody in the world, so he knows what he's doing. He can get.
Did we just lose sound from him?
I think we did. I think we did.
Yeah, rip sound, but I think only his sound. Maybe, I don't know if he can hear us.
Could you type him a note and let him know for me? That would be great. We're just getting the last few
Yeah,
details.
you seem to be muted. You can hear us at least.
Okay.
So yeah, you're about to set up the match. Are we about ready for that? Maybe should we start the call?
I think we're gonna. I think this is the one we're gonna use. I think Japhet's gonna help us through the match. He's gonna do a better version of me with a better sounding voice.
What is the plan?
Well, hopefully we can hear Japhet again. We're just doing the last adjustments on the stream to get it going. Just getting people's screen sizes matched up so we can look at it. Just doing that, and then as soon as we have that done, we'll be good to go. We're very close.
Perfect. And yeah, Nakim is saying that race is so strong. When we talk about him, we get muted. So you have to be really careful with this game.
That's right. And
so yeah, I think players are ready. So we just have to set up the screen and everything. Allmrak is doing that behind the scenes. So that should come up any second now, guys. I hope you guys are ready for the next match. I think it's going to be really awesome. We have you can't really call a player who's level 38 new, but I mean, relatively to raist. I think all of us are pretty new to the game. I don't know how many games he is exactly, but with level 53, that is about, definitely more than 2,000 games, I would think. So yeah, sadly, Japhet, we can still not hear you. Maybe Allmrak can start the call again.
yeah, well maybe you can rejoin. Maybe that'll help. Maybe I turned him down too far.
I mean, I don't think that's a problem.
All right. Who's ready? Anybody tired of waiting yet? All right. I think we have things set up and ready to go. I'm excited again. So what do you say? Why don't we give them the go ahead?
Yeah, they should go ahead. I think they're waiting. So raist saying it's about pretty early for him where he is.
Oh, interesting.
He has to take a lot of coffee to stay awake. But yeah, I think we should get this game going.
All right. I told them to start, or asked them to start, and here we go. Once they get the game going, we will swap over to it. And let's see who's mlhibou is first. So let's
can get a
send it over. There we go.
So we have Pierre. Pierre's in the game. That's awesome. And if you're looking at raist hand, or both of them are looking at the cards first, that's really, really good. So Pierre, International Red Cross, and then we have Suez Canal, Nobel, Napoleon, Bill Gates again. Maybe he can make a strong showing again. Magic Castle is really, really strong in 2-player games, I think. Saladin again. Sun Tzu, but no Zhishka yet. And last game also was without Zhishka. Who has the first turn? How are we going to call him? MLH Iboo.
I say mlhibou.
Mlhibou. Okay, let's call him Mlhibou.
Mlhibou.
He goes for Hippocrates. And what does Raist have as choices? I mean, Rome Roads or Colosseum could be one choice. Other one, something with Urban Growth. If you want to take 2 cards, Urban Growth is pretty nice for that. So you could take Urban Growth and, I mean, a Shoka and hope to get Pyramids. That is a pretty okay combo. But, yeah, Urban Growth, Ashoka could be something. Stonehenge and Urban Growth, I don't think a lot of people like Stonehenge that much. And it goes for Colosseum. That's also really interesting that some people like Colosseum more, some like Rome Roads more.
So he's trying to get to my heart with that Colosseum pick, I think.
Yeah, he's doing that for you.
I think so, yeah.
For the fans, maybe.
Hibou. Someone says call him Hibou.
Hibou. So he wants those pyramids. Doesn't like Roman roads.
Wow. There we go.
There we go. I mean, if you have seen my my ratings, my tier lists, then you know that pyramids are better than that Roman roads are better than pyramids. I mean, that's not really the case, but yeah, still a good choice. I think pyramids for 2 or Roman roads for 1. I would also go for Roman roads here.
Yeah.
So I think solid picks.
I know pyramids is good, but I don't
like them.
I don't like it.
Oh, really?
It's just kind of boring. All it does is just give me a civil action. It doesn't do anything else. Like Colosseum does 4 different things.
Oh, that's right. But what if I tell you that civil actions can do a lot more than 4 different things?
That's true. There's hundreds of things you can do with a civil action.
So Waste going for Hammurabi in second place. I think that's okay, especially with the with the Colosseum. That is a really strong combo. Maybe he saw that. Maybe that's why he went for the Colosseum, because he was guaranteed to get Hammurabi the turn after that. And then we can see Hibou going. Is he gonna go for that lab? He's gonna go for cartography. I mean, he has inhabited territory in hand. Yeah, that could be something you can go for, but I mean, cartography for 2, that doesn't feel that good. We only have 1 territory in hand, so okay, decides to go for Code of Laws instead. Definitely think you should take 1 card from H1 and not those yellow cards from HA. Those are not that strong. Raised. He does have border conflict in hand, it seems. Is he going to play that? With Hammurabi, you don't have the most military. But with with the Colosseum, yeah, you can do that. So yeah, he goes for that. Increases population. Goes for urban growth. And I mean, knights on 2 are an option, and he goes for cartography instead, without any colonies in hand.
Mm-hmm.
Interesting. Would you take the knights here for 2? I mean, with the
I would definitely be tempted to do it. Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, yeah.
Yeah, and he does it. So, yeah, with the Colosseum, I think I definitely agree that is pretty nice. Especially after you played that border conflict, right?
Right.
Oh, and mlhibou or Boo gets Isabella immediately after he gets his second yellow cube from Hippocrates. I think that's definitely a good choice going for that.
Mm-hmm.
Decides to also go for irrigation. He's gonna have a lot of resource production with the Roman roads and Isabella. It is 5 resource production this early, so irrigation you can definitely afford it, and then you have food as well. So that's looking pretty good.
Yep.
So it looks like he's thinking about playing something first, but decides against it. Okay. Okay, he's having some troubles, and he does go for that.
He does.
Gets a religion, build that for free, and do the rest. I would expect the same as before, taking the irrigation.
Yeah. I mean, it seems fine to play an event there.
Yeah, you can definitely. I mean, you're up against Colosseum with knights in hand, and cartography maybe. But I mean, Crusades are not the most impactful event or most impactful card you can play, so probably fine. And I guess for raist, the free religion isn't as strong because he has happy faces from his wonder. So raist, taking the breakthrough, which land? He's not gonna get the irrigation like this. And irrigation, without that you can have a rough time. Let's take a look. There is no ocean liner and no Statue of Liberty in the game, so without irrigation it might be hard. But he decides against it.
It is a gamble, that's for sure.
Can you guys hear me?
Yes, I can hear you.
Great. You're here.
So we have Japhet back.
Cool. Yeah. So we're in match, and you can see the match, okay, right?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Okay. Perfect. So we're on mlhibou's. Someone. Yeah. I don't know if the person that said hibou is an official source or not, but mlhibou's turn right now.
It works until we know better.
That's right.
Hibou it is.
Now, I'll just chime in when I have something smart to say. You two can take it away.
Well, unfortunately, I missed the last 5 or 10 minutes. I was trying to debug this issue, but yeah, I'll chime in when I get a sense of what's going on again.
Okay, so then let's look again at what they're doing. mlhibou or hibou, whatever we decided on. Admin, he doesn't really need iron, I think. He has Roman roads and Isabella, so 5 resource production. I mean, iron and rich land just sitting around there, so that's also not something I would disagree with taking, but sets against that for now.
Yeah, it does seem like he's got enough of the resources coming in. Probably, I mean, he has a 3 of extra blues with Roman roads and Isabella, but I think he's going to, I predict he's going to run into some issues with not having places to spend those.
Yeah. Yeah, maybe he wants to get another wonder, but we'll see with Taj Mahal at the moment and Machu Picchu, and especially after skipping iron, I'm the biggest fan of that. I mean, raist also not going for the iron himself, even though he has rich land in hand. Second irrigation is gone already.
Yeah, I would at least, leave it as a possibility for him, like, but if he leaves it as it is, it's going to be in the auto discard section on hibou's turn. It's really rough passing up iron. It's with only 1 coal in the game, it's definitely doable, but it's a totally different play style.
Yeah, also
of course,
don't know
Leonardo
about
helps.
That. Yeah, he helps a little, but you don't have alchemy yet, so it's not giving you any science bonus at the moment. And I think Hammurabi is still fine for now.
It looks like he's starting out with a full hand, though. That's part of the issue here, is that he can't just grab iron.
Yeah.
He has to research something.
So maybe just wants to go for Leonardo this turn to be able to take that Taj Mahal as well, but you don't get iron, and then Taj Mahal seems a little bit ambitious, I think.
Yeah, agreed. Yeah, it does seem like he's committed to a resource dump in Taj that isn't going to be supported by resource income, except that he does have Leonardo.
Yeah.
So there is that. But yeah, it's tempting to want to like do the thing. So whatever that thing is, and in the Taj Mahal case, the thing is, hey, if I switch my leader, I can get the Taj Mahal for cheaper. I've often been in my trap myself. I was like, oh, I just want to do what I'm supposed to do. But in this case, I think it was just a little too expensive and not the right pick for him right now.
Yeah, it seems so good, right? Getting a free wonder. Why would you say no to that? But then it's
Right.
just sitting around and you can't finish it. I mean, the 2 free resources now help, and maybe he gets Engineering Genius, so he can support that Taj Mahal.
Yeah, I know it's tempting. It's tempting to get free stuff, and that's also why you can get your hands full. Your hand can be too full of cards because they're like, yes, I need this, I need this, I need this. But it's important to leave some space for those bigger plays. So, what do you think Hibou's going to do with all those rocks? Where are those going?
I mean, it's somebody who went for irrigation. I think that's really good. You have a lot of rocks and population together with that. You can put them, I don't know, maybe some nice places. If you get the monarchy as well, you maybe can go for revolution. Maybe you have the legion. You can go for swordsman and go for some strength here. So I mean, like this, the way he's doing that now, going for the swordsman this turn instead of the irrigation. I don't know.
Yeah, those are both. I mean, considering that the deck is about to flip, the event deck, swordsman looks pretty good to get stronger. Also gives him a little bit of a colonization advantage. Irrigation, he does have that extra yellow, and one thing that goes well with extra yellows is irrigation.
Yeah.
So it'd be definitely good to get that going. So he goes for the strength. And that does open up raist for Engineering Genius, like you were mentioning before. So that's going to be a great card for him, considering his output here. I found it interesting they both passed up iron.
Yeah,
both irons are discarded.
Yeah.
Usually doesn't happen.
I guess raist really wants to go for the alchemy this turn, or should probably. Without that, Leonardo is not really worth it, and I think it's a great position to go for that. Maybe he wants to go for knights instead. I mean, he put in the border conflict, and that's also crusades. So yeah, those knights seem maybe a little bit more important for this turn.
Yeah, I see what you mean for sure. I mean, if he goes knights, he gets to 6, right? 6 strength, and that gets him stronger and totally reverses the border conflict, how that plays out. And Hibou's definitely going to want to play into this. Well, he wouldn't if he's weaker, I suppose. But it looks like if you did that, race would have the momentum and the initiative for the events.
So definitely wants to go grab that alchemy, and okay, he's missing one thing he can do with his. Okay, can build Step of the Wonder. This doesn't look like a bad turn. Next turn you can finish the Engineering Genius. Go for alchemy with urban growth. The next turn should be pretty strong.
It's a pretty solid setup. He's spent a lot of work getting to this point, but now he has, going into age 2, he has a really strong turn. The downside here is that if anything really cool shows up in age 2, like in the 2CA route, race is going to be kind of full. And so he already kind of has his next few moves committed when these new cards show up.
Yeah, especially with that rich land in hand that is just going to sit there until you maybe get that coal or selective breeding.
Right.
But that makes your hand really, really full.
Right. That's another issue for race. I don't know. Is Ocean Liner here?
Nope. No Ocean Liner and no Statue of Liberty. So
that's rough. Yeah, that could be. He could easily get denied from food.
And so is this true that there's no irons in the game?
Yeah, they both got discarded.
Wow.
Okay, so Hibou manages to be stronger now with the 3 swordsmen and 11 resources in the bank. he really needs to find a way to spend all of those. I mean, Suezcanal just showed up and he has autonomous territory just drawn, so that is a nice way to spend some resources.
True. Yeah. That's a nice early pickup for him, except he is facing the 2 boats from Race's cartography. So maybe he's eyeing navigation. I mean, they both probably are at some level.
I don't think we have any territories in the deck, but of course the players don't know that. And Race went for that cartography really, really early. Didn't give him much yet, but yeah, it will be interesting if Hibou will want to go for that navigation.
Yeah.
That cartography.
Navigation,
Well, now Race
Suez, and
has
2
vast
colonies in hand,
territory.
right? Yeah.
Yeah, I see a lot of potential for colonization here happening, but who knows if either one of the players are going to be willing to pull that trigger.
Dark Ages and Crusades from Hibou in the deck, but with a low science production at the moment. I mean, maybe Race gets hit by the Dark Ages at some point with Leonardo now. Oh, and grabs Suezcanal for 4 selections.
Wow. Yeah,
Oh,
that
maybe
would be
not.
a pretty big
Maybe.
move.
Yeah.
Expensive, but he doesn't know that Race has also a pretty solid territory in his hand. So he doesn't know how important it is. But it also is, Suez is a little better when you start, like you already have some territories. So I don't know if that's worth spending 4 for it. He's got to deal. But he has to find somewhere to put these rocks. So I guess that's where his situation is right now. Like, I need to do something with these rocks.
Yeah, we're really struggling with that decision. But I mean, with the autonomous territory, that can just be worth it with the Suezcanal. And then maybe you can grab navigation next turn. I think it's unlikely that Race will take that away because he didn't play any territories yet. So, and he has cartography. So you have a good chance of getting navigation as well. So maybe get another territory and then Suezcanal starts to become really, really strong.
Yeah, he's going for it though. I mean, autonomous territory, it's sure a nice card to have. He goes for it'll get him a 7th CA and a 4th MA. That's really solid. And it gives him a place to put his rocks, like he needs something like that, something to invest in.
Yeah.
There's really nothing else showing up. I mean, Republic is the only other card that's a good investment this early, something that can really spring load your game. But neither of them really have the science for that except through Revolution.
And the Reign of Terror hitting Hibou, at least he has the irrigation up, so not the biggest problem for him probably. But it's still hurting him that he lost that. And I think Hibou drew the classic army, right? So probably looking for a cavalryman at some point.
Yeah.
Race taking rifleman for 3. That's gonna be really good once Hibou reveals that the tactic.
Yeah, Race is going to find out what a good move that was.
Yeah.
Interesting. Republic. I was just saying that neither of them could really get into that, but I suppose the Revolution isn't the worst thing. Then he's going to have a pretty good setup for his government with he has the 3rd MA with Colosseum already.
Yeah.
Not a bad plan.
Yeah. Doesn't get the rifleman, so that could come back and haunt him if Hibou decides to go for that.
And if he doesn't, then Race can't really revolt. I don't think it's worth revolting and missing a rifleman.
I mean, there's Robespierre in the game, so maybe that was his plan, go for Robespierre and the Republic. That could work really nicely.
Yeah, it's solid.
But yeah, getting the Suez Canal now. Oh, doesn't go for autonomous.
Right. I guess he was looking for those blues. More blues.
Go for navigation and play autonomous territory next turn. I mean,
he did have a lot of, he had a science deficit, and developed does kind of help with that. It definitely helps with.
I mean, autonomous can also give you science that you're missing. So I think this early, those selections will pay off more than the yellows from the developed. But I mean, maybe it can work. Both of them are definitely good territories to get. It looks like he hasn't decided yet completely.
Maybe something to consider slightly is you're on bronze with a lot of. You're on bronze, so that maybe losing the 2 blue tokens from autonomous is a little more challenging.
Yeah, and he's going to lose Isabella at some point. So
Right.
There's that.
Oh, Dark Ages hitting raist here. A good move.
I notice he's on 1 farm now. When did that happen? What was that? That must have been the Reign of Terror.
Yeah, exactly. Deleted his agriculture.
Mm.
I mean, with the develop, that still is okay. Still at +2 food. So yeah, so we will at some point, I guess. But for now, it seems okay.
Yeah. No, I think that's a good choice for sure. Doesn't need it yet. It's one thing he can replace later on. Looks like he's going to leave Rifleman there. He hasn't really toyed with that thought. Yeah. So that's going to leave Raist with that choice between Revolt or Rifles. Oh, and then never mind. There's Max. I forgot about Max. So Raist has got a really solid play right here.
And he were not going for that navigation after all. And that makes Race go for territories himself.
Right. Yeah. Oh, he does have that issue of. I know he got around it, I guess. So he had to build cannon.
Yeah.
So once again, that full hand biting him in the butt a little bit there.
Yeah, but luckily with the buff to Republic, he had enough science to go for that.
Right.
The 2 science cost only for that revolution, really coming in handy.
Yeah, barely squeezed it in there. Hopefully he picks up some cannon tactic to make that all worthwhile.
Yeah. Oh, doesn't want to go for the rifleman. Interesting. Last turn he thought about taking the rifleman for 3. This turn he's thinking about not taking them at all.
Right. Yeah, it's definitely risky to leave those behind. I mean, there's just so many tactics that play off of rifles or swords. And then you're waiting for modern infantry at that point, which could come at the very end of H3.
So you will find a use for that rich land that he picked up pretty early with the selective breeding, so he doesn't have that issue at least. That issue being food. But yeah, he's really struggling with that decision. Rifleman or rich land.
Yeah.
I mean, he has 9 resources in hand. I think the rifleman should be more important.
I mean, either way, he's going to be in a pretty good position with the revolution having happened. He's going to be at so many actions that he can really take this to any direction. Right now, he's a pretty bare bones economy, but the action economy that he's creating here is going to really accelerate his growth. And there's still quite a bit of turns in H2 for that to happen. So he goes for the rich land and yeah, no rifles, huh?
Yeah, no rifles. Really interesting.
Yeah.
It shows you how fast these evaluations of the cards can change from almost worth 3 selections to not taking them at all.
Yep.
I mean, I guess he committed to the cannons, so he basically said, I already went for them, so I can maybe not take the rifleman. Maybe that has something to do with that.
Yeah, he's all in, man. He's all in on those cannons.
Yeah.
Now, what that's going to do, though, is it's going to allow Hibou to play that classical army way sooner than he would otherwise. Because there's no good way that raist can get on that except for modern infantry. Sometimes you take riflemen just for the threat of having the ability to build them.
Yeah. And also with the H3, there are a lot of tactics that need riflemen, especially if you have cannons as well. That can be. Anyways, giving us a little bit of information. He just typed in chat that it was lucky that he won both of the strength events. So that's definitely true. They were both at 8 strength for all of the events coming out, and he doing both of them.
Yeah, Hibou was a little bit hampered, I suppose, with what he was playing. He didn't want to play territories into cartography, into raist's cartography. What do you think about this Gaudi pick? Do you think it's a good choice here for 2 and possibly 3 urban buildings?
Not really. I mean, I have a screenshot. There's Nobel and Bach and Newton and Catherine left. I'm not the biggest fan of Gaudi in any position basically, but with Nobel still being there, he still hasn't solved his science production. I don't really know what civil building or what urban building he wants to go for with that Gaudi.
Yeah, Gaudi is somebody I haven't really figured out how to use. I've tried leaning into him and getting all 5, and that hasn't usually. Well, I only did that for the first time last night, to be honest. But it's hard to know where that balance is. Like, it seems like he's the kind of person that you don't want to necessarily lean into him. You want to take advantage of the culture and the discount he provides, but it's hard to know where that line should be drawn. Like, where do you stop doing the Gaudi thing?
I often find him just being like he can be serviceable in many situations. He's giving you a few culture, and he'll give you, depending on the buildings you're doing, 3-6 science. And it's I never find it to be terrible. It's just not usually the best.
Yeah. Raist eats another strength event. Not the worst in the deck, but that's an 8-point swing right there.
And he is prepared for the next colonies with all boat cards in hand.
Mm-hmm.
He really needs to find a tech though, but I mean, he skipped drawing cards last turn, so he probably has 2 more turns left. So hopefully 6 cards that he has to try to make work and find what tactic, because without, it's gonna be hard for him, especially with the classic army that we know that Hibou has in his hand, and he can't go for that. So
he really needs to draw mobile artillery. That'll really turn it around for him.
Yeah, if he's a good player, then he just draws that, and then should be looking good for him.
If he's not good enough, he won't draw it.
I mean, he has so much experience. He has to see that play, right? He just has to draw that.
Overall though, I'd say they're pretty even as far as their economy, their situation. Raist does have those 2 boats with cartography, so there's that.
Yeah.
And Hibou has the advantage of he can play that classical army, so he has that advantage, the strength advantage. But they've locked in their leaders for now, and their leaders are kind of just not doing a whole lot, except for Hibou's going to get some science discounts. So I think this game will be pretty static as far as like until H3. I think that both players are kind of locked into what they're doing, and we'll see how they transition into H3.
Yeah, I really hope that Hibou goes for that Grand Circus now. He has that in hand. He will lose to that if he doesn't go for that. That he doesn't get that, it's going to be even harder to make use out of Gaudi. So
True.
you should develop that, right? For one science, enables Pierre. So,
which is the true reason you want to see him play Blitz.
yeah, I wanted to play that. Didn't want to say that, but yeah. And he goes for that. Perfect. He knows Pierre's strength.
Oh no.
Oh no, he goes back.
I'm not sure I agree with strategy for 3 here. I mean, the strategy's a good card, don't get me wrong, but he's already at 3 MA. It's not looking like a huge, well, it's too early to say, but to me it doesn't look like a huge like battle that they're having. It's not super like military heavy.
And also raist is at 4 military actions as well. One is from Robespierre, so you could argue he's going to lose that at some point, but still, yeah, strategy maybe not that important.
Yeah, I like what he's doing here. Scientific method. That's kind of the direction I would take this personally.
And he takes it back again, goes for strategy instead. He doesn't have a lot of time actually, 80 seconds left, so
yeah.
Grab those cavalrymen. You need those cavalrymen, right?
Yeah, he definitely needs those. He cannot wait till the tanks. Just know, he has to. But he only has 60 seconds to decide. I'm sure he's under a lot of pressure right now.
Yeah.
Knowing that many people are watching every move he makes and criticizing.
I know that feeling. Okay, but I think he found a pretty nice nice turn there. Didn't miss any of the big blunders or anything. Don't necessarily agree with that strategy, but it's still fine. Strategy is still a really strong card. Fox in his strength advantage quite a bit.
And he got the cavalry that he definitely needed, and we may in fact see Pierre.
So perfect turn.
So raist, we get that freedom of movement going on. Let's see. It's hard to. I missed what he moved exactly.
Did he have a warrior? Yeah, I think he had a warrior, right?
Ah, yes.
Moved it up to cannon.
He did have one.
To the cannon, yeah.
Praying for that mobile artillery.
Yeah, I think he's planning on drawing that. Not quite enough for another cannon. Maybe just threatening that he has it. So
good point.
It can also be really strong. Just keep H2 cards in your hand, and the other one can't go for walls because basically tell him, I dare you.
Yeah. True. He does have scientific method, but being on alchemy already and he's this late in age 2, so that's not really a good option. Yeah, he doesn't have a whole lot of moves. Journalism, it's an option, I suppose. He does have quite a bit of food coming in. But he might need that food for military.
And really not that many resources yet. Has a lot of efficient upgrades, so maybe he's hoping for computers.
Yeah, of course, coal comes out very end of age 2.
Yeah. I guess he might still do a transition into that with the 2 efficient upgrades.
Yeah, it does make it quite a bit easier. Rich land, efficient upgrade. Usually I wouldn't go for coal this late, but yeah, he might very well do that. And he just picked up hussars. So at least he has a tactic.
Yeah.
That works with one of his units. It might incite him to go for cavalry too.
Yeah, but I like the point that you mentioned that it's not really looking like a big military push from either of these guys. I think they're both pretty okay with what they have got at the moment. No one has a perfect setup for big wars. It's going to be pretty hard for mlhibou to go for 2 cavalrymen. I guess he's setting up for that.
Hibou really needs a second irrigation, I think, if he's going to go for the military game. He's going for a little short burst here.
Yeah,
but if he's going to get a whole second army, he's going to want some food support for that.
So here's
this play, though.
here's where the bluff comes in. Can Hibou pull it off if he thinks raist might have a? I'm sorry. If am I thinking of the right thing? Yeah, right. Because he might have he might be holding the tactic. Interesting.
Exactly. So does he risk that? I think you go for that. I think you still win the war even if he has the tactic. That looked like a pretty nice turn. I mean, you don't draw any cards in your first drawing phase of H3. That can give you a kind of a way that you can either draw some nice impacts or some over culture.
Yeah, I love that he's taking advantage of the freedom of movement. Usually that's a defensive card where you are on defense and you get to use that for, helping out on a war. And he's able to use that here in an offensive manner instead.
Against 8. 1 cannon, and the tactic would be 13, right?
Yeah, up to 21, I think.
Still okay. At least then he has to show if he has the tactic. If you always have to plan around that, it's like put your cards on the table move.
Yeah.
Yeah.
See what he has.
Yeah, that's true. Do you think race gets into cavalry? Can he? I don't even know if he can. He could, right? He could get into the hussars. I suppose that's his best bet.
Yeah, he has enough signs for those. His hand is really full, but not a lot that helps him with the war here. Efficient upgrades, rich lands.
Definitely pushes him off that coal idea. I mean, he might still go for coal and just ignore the war. That's one option. It's not very pleasant, though.
Yeah, go for 4 knights. Go to 18. He's gonna lose 2 yellows. Might be okay.
Yeah, it's not the best way to start H3. It's also not the end of the world, though.
I mean, he has good food production, so he can probably stabilize. He gets another population next turn, even though he loses 2 yellows. So it's not like he needs every single yellow he can because he's at 2 agriculture or something. So I think he can stabilize after this. And Hibou had to sacrifice his whole drawing step last turn because he needed all the military actions. So no new tactics or other wars coming in.
Yeah, we were just saying this is not a warmonger game, and look what's going on here. He's 23 on military theory, and I don't know. Is coal even in the cards at this point? Is coal like viable? It's pretty late for coal, isn't it?
Yeah, it's hard. I mean, it seems like it, especially when you're staring at a war this turn. So it's it's another turn later before you can get into it, and it just makes it even worse.
What race does have is he does have the science advantage. He's getting 4 science a turn, and that may not last for very much longer. But for now, at least he's able to access the higher level techs like military theory next turn.
Goes for coal. There is Marie Curie in the game. That might influence his decision. I don't like her really with coal. I think you need oil with her for the max science production, but it's not really looking like he can use a lot of the leaders. He could go for Bill Gates or Sid Meier with his sufficient upgrades if he gets computers. But he probably wants to go for another leader really, really soon because, Robespierre's not really giving him anything.
Of course, he could go for democracy with Roby next turn.
Yeah. If he wants to sacrifice all of his military actions, if he doesn't need to defend against wars, he probably can have 1 turn where he doesn't draw anything. It shouldn't be the biggest problem.
Yeah, I mean, that is a good 12 points, maybe 12, 15 points. But the thing is, he doesn't really need the actions granted by that government. So might not. I don't know. Might be a wash.
So does Hibou plan to go for that journalism this turn? I mean, 3 signs for that is pretty nice. He has growth as well. Goes for the aggression. Okay, so
This is going to wipe out race boats completely. So here comes that journalist.
Oh, yeah, it has to leave the religion for that. Still only at that 1 irrigation, so he doesn't have a lot of food.
Yeah, that's got to be painful. I mean, it would be so great for him to finish that second army that I'm not really sure that this journalist makes a lot of sense. He does have plunder and infiltrate, so he has some more aggressions in hand. I think he could push the military side of this a little harder than he is with a journalist.
Maybe you're holding Gaudi and you see journalism for 3 and it kind of pulls you toward it.
Yeah, and you have urban growth.
Yeah.
Yeah, tempting for sure. It's the Gaudi trap.
Yeah.
Right.
And there's also International Red Cross in the game. So he was not set up for that at all. But race might be. He has 2 selected breedings, so that is one that can change the game quite a lot. Mercury and Bill Gates show up.
Oh, and there's tanks. Tanks for race. He can get right into that tactic of his. Yeah. Wow. Tanks is so good for him right now. With Coliseum.
Yeah. I'm about to say that, especially with the Coliseum.
So good.
I like how race dragged tanks down to his hand very slowly. You see that?
It's like he didn't know if it was real or not.
Yeah.
Finally getting a little bit more resource production with Bill Gates. I mean, 5 or 2 from Bill Gates really isn't that much. I guess he really hopes for an early computers with both efficient, 1 rich land and 1 efficient upgrade, but urban growth as well. So yeah, he can transition nicely into computers if he gets that early.
Yeah, I think it's a question of, was there something better to do with those three actions? Because there's patriotism for 1, and he's definitely getting tanks, so that would be come in handy for that. And then the other question is, if he doesn't take gates, does Hibou take gates? I mean, they both are pretty starved for rocks. So I would think the answer to that question is yeah, probably.
Yeah, but he went just for the journalism, right? So he has 1 HA lab, so that's really hard to go for computers. Doesn't have the science next turn,
that's a good point.
Doesn't have a good position to go for Bill.
Yeah, so then it might have been good to just wait then for race to just wait on gates. He's still playing with it.
Even if
computers,
I still think there's. I was gonna say, even if computers does show up like right after gates, it's still pretty hard for Hibou to get into it, to make him worthwhile. True. Doesn't have like the science or the resources to get there.
Yeah, I don't know. I was definitely looking at patriotism as a great pickup for race given his situation.
So yeah, where's this game going? Are we gonna see the war culture? He will try another aggression. Oh man!
Wow, dang, that's rough.
Wow.
Clutch infiltrate, man. You don't always see infiltrate do that well. Like that takes out raist's like half of raist's resource production that he just spent 3 CA to set up.
Yeah.
And the leader too. No leader for raist.
Yeah, no more leader. I mean, he gets 2 signs from that, 2 culture from that, losing Bill Gates, but that isn't really what he wanted to go for with them. So maybe he shouldn't have elected Bill Gates if he takes him, or as we said, maybe didn't need to take him really.
I think Hibou can just keep punishing him on military. As he's got the war culture in hand, and a plunder. I don't see why he wouldn't. I mean, it's unfortunate he built that journalist, but he could disband his philosophy and use reserves for food and just keep pushing him in the military. And I think he's got it.
Yeah, and he's producing 7 culture while doing this, so
Right.
he doesn't even need the war for culture. It's just, he wants to go for another journalism. Okay, so that's the other road. Don't know if that's really safer. Also doesn't really give him a lot more culture production, but
yeah, I don't know. I mean, I love getting a bunch of journalists going, and especially earlier, but it is kind of late to spend 8 rocks on that. It seems like, I don't know, it just seems quite a bit weaker, especially given his war of culture in hand. He has, with that, he has a clear path to victory. Like raist, I don't know if Gandhi's in the game, but raist can't take Gandhi. He just lost Gates.
yeah.
Right.
So it decides not to go for the second journalist, and definitely agree. I think have horses in hand, can easily go for 2 more cavalrymen. That will be a lot of strength.
Yeah.
Did we already talk about how computers came out right after Bill Gates?
I guess we overlooked that because he lost Bill Gates, but
It wasn't mentioned.
so raist has 8 food in hand, has reserves, so he could go for International Red Cross. Also has maybe the vast territory. That will definitely help with the food and the architecture. Don't know if he can really afford that.
Yeah, that's going to put a pretty severe limit on his resources. Like, he's already kind of bottlenecked there. He's trying to get more yellows, but he already has... Okay, well, he doesn't have to worry about that.
He even gets that for just 1 swordsman. Race tried to make that really expensive with bidding both knights.
Mm-hmm.
I guess he didn't really plan on winning that, but tried to make it expensive, but yeah, didn't happen.
That's quite a gamble.
Yeah, it's good he didn't win that, I think. I think this late in the game, yellows are not quite as needed. Raist is toying with the idea of computers. I mean, he's already gotten into coal, being pretty late for that. Computers, he does have we saw impact of science. And he played that, didn't he?
Yeah, he played that.
Because it's not there anymore, yeah. So he played that, so he's going for that science game, looks like. But it does seem like a little bit too late in the game for a play like that. I think we're going to see Hibou take advantage of pretty peaceful turn by raist and pounce on him with the extra yellows.
Imagine if raist had Bill Gates. He could have gone for the computers instead of the coal. That infiltrate really destroyed him.
Yeah, that was a huge turning point in the game.
And historic territory. Late, let's see what they bid. And now that he won the vast territory, Hibou has 11 food in hand, so International Red Cross could also be an alternative play.
Mm.
Did he really just bid his whole army on that? Or is he thinking about that?
He's
considering it.
I mean, he's pretty safe from wars from raist, so...
Oof.
Wow. Well, there goes the war idea.
Yeah, there goes the war.
Peaceful again.
Yeah.
Okay, as we have nationalism in hand, he can rebuild. So at least there's no reverse aggression or anything like that. That's good at least.
Yeah, so we got to use that card. Might have been one of the last opportunities to do that.
I mean, it is a pretty big swing in points. Letting that go to race would have been pretty bad. But yeah, I don't know. Do you spend your whole turn getting 22 points? Yeah, I think so. I think that's in the end. That's definitely, definitely one of his options. I think a better option still would have been to commit to the war, let race take that territory,
Yeah.
and just go for the war. It's hard to say without doing all the math as to like what actually would be better, but it just kind of intuitively seems like if you have, he has the science next turn, he could have had 12 science for the Air Force, and not sure about the resources there, how that would have worked out.
Yeah, but especially if race has to send away. I mean, he also bid like 16, something like that, so probably 4 knights, I guess.
Yeah.
Then that war,
That's
he would have gone down to 3 strength.
mm-hmm.
Yeah, that could have. I mean, I think both ways lead to victory here.
That was
Take
two
that territory
really large
off.
bids from Raist in a row there.
Yeah.
It was just, he was trying to get rid of his army and couldn't do it.
I mean, yeah. I mean, both of the bids worked out really, really nicely because Hibou had to spend so much on the territories, right? The first one he had to send away all of his cards, and then the second one he had to send away an army. So Race playing that, quite perfectly, making him pay that much for those territories.
So now Race has to decide how he's going to make up for this deficit. He's about 25, 30 points behind, and does have a pretty strong tactic in play now. But of course, this is, well, it's either it might be the last turn or it might not be the last turn. It's actually up to Race to decide whether this is his second to last turn. So he could go, well, of course he doesn't have a war, so that's kind of out of the question at this point. So what can he do for the next 2 or 3 turns that'll get him the difference in points there?
In a 1, that can help the input of science if he wins that. That is quite a bit. Is there still any wonder left is the question.
Mm-hmm.
I think Madam Project might be still in there, right? I don't think we saw that.
Yeah, they haven't.
Yeah, in the card row, the only thing there is have the science for that. As far as getting culture right now.
Yeah, interesting. There's not a whole lot he can do here.
I mean, I was looking for the input of harmony that he just played. Hibou has 4 in everything basically. Oh no, 3 in urban buildings, but he gets a few more population out. So that is an impact that can have quite an impact. So that could be another way with the great impacts. Like competition could also be okay. Yeah, really hard to find a way for Race to come back in this game.
Yeah, I'm just not seeing a good clear path for him forward. Computers, maybe. Computers and then Manhattan Project, but I don't know if he has enough. Yeah, I guess he would have enough rocks.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, engineering genius in hand.
And that's 10 points.
And also the question is, do you end the age here or not? He was probably gonna get Pierre, and if the age doesn't end, he's gonna get the Olympic Games from him, so 8 extra culture. If race doesn't end this here. So yeah, it comes down to a lot of math, I think, if that's worth it or not.
Yeah, we haven't seen Pierre, have we?
Nope. He could be the very last card, though, and then Hibou wouldn't
Yeah,
get
he
him.
could. He likes to do that.
Yeah.
Yeah, raist really, really struggling with this turn. Has 100 seconds left of reserve.
Yeah, these
I guess
turns
he
are
has
hard.
more.
You're just really trying to dig out a way to make something work, you know? And he's
Yeah,
just
we've all
in a
been in this position where it just looks hopeless, but we're trying to find something that turns it around. It's not war. It doesn't have any amazing impacts in his hand. Oh, progress. Is that going to work out for him?
I think they're pretty even.
Could definitely work out if you get civil service.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Lavis Pier and the Manhattan Project. And culture lead is not that big from Hibou, right? 73 against 56. Yeah, okay, that is something.
It's not insurmountable, but yeah, it is. It's getting worse as we speak. Oof. Yeah, I mean, almost anything Hibou does is going to just make that spread worse. He has the science to get into anything he wants to do. He could go for Sid Meier here. He could go. I mean, Einstein. I think I like Sid Meier better right here. And then Pierre.
Sid Meier and Pierre.
No, I mean that's an option. Those are the three options that he has.
Okay.
I like Sid. I like Pierre. I like movies.
I mean, he really has a lot of resources. Oh no, he doesn't. That was raised. He can go for one movies. I just feel like if you have Pierre, why not build those 3 Britain circuses?
And he looks like he's going for the armed intervention there with the Air Force. I think that's the rationale for that.
Yeah, you can't be afraid of wars, right? That has to be aggressive. Problem is that then you can't use Pierre if you go for that.
That's true.
Mm-hmm.
Well, couldn't you though? You could use it for the 8.
Yeah, you can use it for the 8,
8.
and then you lose the 8. Exactly.
And then so you might as well not use it. Yeah, okay. Guess I've never been in that position.
I mean, you come out. No, it's even.
Yeah. So in that case, I mean, if he's already getting 8 from Pierre, you think it would have been better just to go for more culture production?
I mean, you don't have to be afraid of war. Rais doesn't have enough military action, so that Air Force is probably there maybe because of the events that are still on top, or to go for that aggression.
Okay.
Strategic territory. Doesn't draw any cards, so really not worth a lot.
Yeah, and then maybe Hibou's going for maybe a safe play there where he could lose, for example, impact of strength, given that race is going last. So if he invests now in military, not only does he catch the strength events, but he's also kind of securing that impact.
Yeah. He played the impact of prowess there, right? So he should, although Sir Race did, so he probably wants to pick up civil service, then he should do quite well in that.
Yeah.
Does he also grab Manhattan Project? I mean, it's not giving him a lot of culture. But what do you go for with your 20 resources?
Yeah, not much else to do there. I would think he'd want to get into computers. Maybe not. I mean, that is 6 points for the multimedia going that route.
Yeah.
But then you only get 3 more points for the Manhattan Project. And then of course you need to have the resources for the Manhattan Project.
It's also not grabbing civil service this way.
That's 6 points plus possibly more for Variety, well, Variety was thrown away, but I don't know if we've seen Government. I don't know if Race has seen Government.
So is he just saying, like, yes, I don't have the strength, you can't play that aggression on me, but the aggression isn't that much worth it for you because you can't use Pierre then, so he hopes that he makes the aggression not worth it for him.
Interesting.
So, like the way I'm seeing it, at 17 you're gonna get an aggression on you if the other one has it. So that is quite dangerous to go like this.
Yeah, well, at least it won't be another infiltrate, right?
Yeah. So we do see the Olympic Games. Do we also see an aggression? No. Oh.
It's trying to see like what the difference is going to be in points. Like, what are his risks? Like, how does he lose? He's asking himself, okay, it looks like I'm going to win this, but how would I lose if I did lose this? And I think he's got to make sure he shores up those weaknesses wherever they are.
Yeah. I mean, one way he could lose is play a bit of strength and then lose it. So I don't think he wants to play that. He just looked at this a bit of technologies that also wasn't good. So I think just play that aggression. That seems pretty like a really safe win.
Yeah, I agree. He's considering the strength play here, and that would be 13 for the strength plus 8 for Pierre. So that's 21 versus going for the aggression, which is 14. Yeah, I think he's just got to play it safe. If he plays it safe, he does some kind of safe play like what he's considering. I think that's gonna win him the game, because if he tries to do something risky, like there's always a chance Race defends the aggression too. Like there's, right? I mean, if he has 3 boats, that's 18. Oh, is that not enough? That's not enough, is it?
It's one, one short.
It's one short. Okay, so never mind. He should definitely attack. Well, I say that, but then that's kind of the safe play. I think that is a safe play, whereas the strength-based play.
Yeah, I think the way strength, maybe they made some math or something, but playing that as first player can be dangerous. I think he's just going to put everything into military, and then he should have enough.
Yeah, I guess in a sense they're both safe. They're both safe plays, given that he can throw enough into this. He has to think about the Manhattan Project, which will put Race at 30, and then Race will have 6 plus 8, 14 resources left after the Manhattan Project. With tanks, with the new tactic.
Air Force. Yeah, maybe. I mean, he committed to it now, and now he's thinking again, but...
Well, he did play Impact of Strength at this point, so he's kind of committed to that.
He's a bit committed.
Play.
I mean, he might be... I think he had an option where he could get more strength with different units, so he has options there.
Do we see the input of competition? Did someone play that?
It is still in Raist's hand at this point.
Raist is holding it.
Impact of Science is on deck. And interestingly, if Raist does play competition, he will... Oh. No. What's going on with the science here? Raist is going to win that either way.
Yeah, Raist definitely going to win that.
Yeah.
And if he will calculate it correctly, he's going to win a bit of strength. So that cancels each other out.
Looks like he's doing the higher strength option. Oh, nope, he's not.
Nope. He wants... Okay. 46.
We'll see what race can do.
13 from the Manhattan puts point deficit. Does he make that up with tanks and his tactic? My math is
I can't go that fast.
not working in real time right now.
Yeah, if you're not playing, you can't do the math. That's impossible.
I mean, for every parry you upgrade, you get 6 more, right? No, 8 more.
We're gonna find out here, aren't we?
Yeah.
Well, he's not going for interesting. Yeah, race really has no reason to commit to impact of strength. He doesn't know that was played, so race is doing what he can with what he knows, which is to upgrade, spend the resources instead on the upgrade. Interesting. But I wonder if he'll consider. Oh, are we gonna reconsider that?
I mean, going for the tanks is too more culture just from the Colosseum. He went for computers, right?
Yeah.
I guess we're never gonna find out. But
this might be close, actually.
He's keeping us in suspense.
Please
there we
show
go.
us. There it is.
There's strength.
And science.
And...
I think he's just a little short. Oh, he's 4 short, right?
Just a little short,
no, 14 short. Wow.
So Pierre winning the game, awesome. I like it.
Yeah, that's always a good finish.
Whew.
Really exciting
Close.
game.
I mean, he made a show of it for sure.
Yeah. So big upset, I would say, right? Raist losing to Hibou. Hibou being
yeah, I think the two players I guess the touted at the top, or what, not at the top, but Raist had the most experience and Deluxe was the returning champion, and we watched them both get upset.
Yeah. And we also have the result from the other game that was going on.
Yeah, let's put that in. So yeah, I have this other one too. Let's well, we know Hibou won this, so let's just for now put that in. And then here, what does chat think won? Or did Hans already tell him?
Hannes is in chat, so
okay.
Yeah, he told everybody.
Well, he won. He's excited.
Yeah.
And
well, guys, it was great to join you for a game. I do have to leave at this point. But,
sure. Thank you so much.
Looking forward to hearing how this turns out for Hibou, our hero.
Yeah, awesome.
It was
Thanks
really,
for joining.
Yeah, it was really nice to have you. I thought it was really fun just to listen to you to talk about the matches. It was great.
Cool. Yeah, it was fun.
And we'll see you around. Thank you.
All right.
Yeah,
bye.
Thank you.
Bye-bye.
Bye.
Okay, well, we're down to
did I see that correctly? Hannes beat him 158 against 44.
Yep.
Oh, Kian getting beat on.
Yeah. And I don't know if we have a contingency for this, but it looks like Kyung timed out inadvertently in this match.
Oh, really?
So yeah, so that's too bad. But we're excited to see Hans in the final match against Hibou. So what do you say we take another quick break and come back and watch this last match?
Yeah, definitely.
Cool.
Sounds good.
So we'll see y'all in a few minutes. Get a snack, hydrate. I know that's important to DJParson.
Yeah,
and
it really is.
We'll see y'all in just a minute. Thank you.